Hi, Gina. That's a great question. But before I answer it, I want to welcome everybody to the DHL Global Summit. I know we've got people participating from many different sectors from around the world. So thank you very much for your participation and your support of DHL. The question about where is e-commerce going or what is the future of e-commerce is something that we think about quite a bit. We certainly don't have a crystal ball to be able to answer that question, but we certainly can take a look at the trends that are appearing in the market right now and kind of predict what's going on. But let's step back in time a little bit to pre-COVID-19. In the first quarter of 2020, things looked pretty normal for us. We heard about the global pandemic, but nothing really had impacted our marketplace. By the time we got to the second quarter, we were in lockdown, people were quarantining, and the future of e-commerce changed dramatically. In the first quarter of 2020, e-commerce as a percent of total retail was about 15%. By July of 2020, that 15% had grown to somewhere between 35 and 45%, depending on which industry analyst had made the prognosis. But the things that we saw in our sector, which is the transportation sector around e-commerce, was a dramatic growth. Consumers got really, really comfortable buying online. Everybody was locked down, they were at home, and they were buying everything from toothpaste to toilet paper. And so the number of orders that we saw and the increase in the growth levels that we saw from Q2 of 2020 to the fourth quarter, quite frankly, were unprecedented. We had restrictions on the amount of parcels that customers could ship. We had surcharges for both peak season as well as COVID-19 and the additional costs associated with that. We had to keep our people safe. We had to keep people apart. We had to wear masks. We had to do protocols in our terminals to do cleaning and those types of things. But we did manage to work through it and had a pretty successful 2020. So if you look at some of those trends that developed, just the sheer volume of packages that developed during that time, if you think about what we have to do as logistics providers, we've got to figure out what are we going to do next to be able to deal with this continued growth. We're now in 2021. We're starting to see volumes normalize in kind of that May timeframe. We know consumers are here to stay and buying online is here to stay. So what are the things that we've got to do as suppliers to make sure that we stay ahead of the curve and continue to provide the services that our customers expect from us? So first and foremost, you've got to invest in your people. Labor is a bit of a problem right now. We suspect that'll correct itself here in the United States here shortly. But the first and foremost, you've got to invest in your people. You then have to look at automation, how to make your buildings more efficient, how to utilize the technology, how to utilize the space. Sometimes you need additional space as well as an investment. But the last thing is either investments in technology or digitalization, whatever you want to call it. Artificial intelligence will be a huge tool for us as we go forward. You look at the information we have, we look at how we can take that information and make better, faster decisions. That's really going to help us improve the supply chain for our customers. So what we can expect going forward, we're not going back to the way it was prior to the pandemic. You're going to continue to see growth that's going to be in the 5 to 15% range, depending on what industry you're looking at. And e-commerce is here to stay.